this video was originally going to be me using the app for a few weeks to see how it plays. Well, after setting it up and sleeping with the app for only 2 nights, I can already conclude that the app kinda sucks. So this video won't be me documenting my sleep, it will instead be a review of the app itself. I'll be going over the problems I find with it after just using it for 3 days and 2 nights. I will briefly mention that I didn't use the app with the intention of fixing my broken sleep schedule, even if I should. I just wanted to track the sleep I'm currently getting. So with that out of the way, let's get into this. Now before this video turns into me complaining about the app, I want to address what the app did right and even give appreciation to the neat little features it has. First off, the vibe the app gives off is very Pokemon, but that works really well for this series. Usually how a Pokemon game goes down is you're a main character helping a professor with something. In the mainline games, it's filling the Pokédex and stopping a group of hooligans. With spin-offs like Pokemon Snap or Pokemon Go, you're helping professors in similar ways, but by doing some mundane task like taking photos or leaving the house. Pokemon Sleep is no exception. The goal in Pokemon Sleep is to help Professor Neroli? The Professor. The goal in Pokemon Sleep is to help the Professor gather sleep data from Pokemon by having the app open and sleeping yourself. More Pokemon will appear depending on how you sleep. Although this world building is generic, it's common for the Pokemon series and it works well here. I also liked how the app not only lets you set a bedtime for yourself, which the app will remind you of half an hour before you go to sleep, but you can also set an alarm within the app that will wake you up, which is quite charming. Side note though, I find it funny how the default bedtime was 11:30 PM and I had to change it to 2 AM because of how messed up my sleep schedule is. It's also a really nice touch that you can track 2 sleep cycles per day. This is great for those who take naps and want to track those, or who have broken sleep for one reason or another. I do think it could be bumped up to 3 sleeps, but 2 is already quite generous to have. Very minor, but another neat thing the app does is record any noises you make while sleeping. I could see this being an issue if you share a room with someone, or you have a squeaky bed like me. But if you talk in your sleep and have always been curious about what you say, Pokemon Sleep has got you covered. Sadly, that's where all the good things seem to end. And even then, I was kinda grasping for straws trying to find positive things to say. So now we move on to the negatives, and that's sadly the majority of this video. The first thing I want to briefly get out of the way is that the font size is tiny. That in itself already isn't great. But you gotta consider that most people with visual impairments often have less accurate vision than usual right before going to sleep, or after waking up. For me personally, I take nightly eye drops for glaucoma right before heading to sleep. Once I've taken those drops, I have to deal with the residue in my eyes, and reading anything smaller than what I'm 100% comfortable with is not happening, even if I put my glasses back on. The same goes first thing when I wake up. I need to wait half an hour to 45 minutes before I can read certain font sizes. This applies to any text, not just my phone. With an app that requires my full attention as soon as I wake up, it's either really uncomfortable or just not doable for me. Next are the tutorials. Post-editing Squish here. Despite editing the entire video together and also playing the game 2 nights in a row, I fail to notice that the tutorials in the morning are actually skippable. I still stand by that the tutorials are really long. However, I made a mistake in saying that they're unskippable, so I apologise for that. Okay, I'm gonna continue with the video. For the most part, the tutorials themselves are fine. My main issue comes with the timing of them. First, you get some tutorial stuff when you're setting up the app for the first time. You know, the usual stuff like adding your nickname, birthday, and bedtime. Plus an explanation on how everything works. Standard stuff. Plus you can do this whenever you want, so that's nice. Then it gives you a quick tutorial right before going to sleep. That's a little more annoying, since the last thing I wanted to do was spend 5 minutes reading stuff before going to sleep. But then you get another tutorial right when you wake up. And this one is long. I don't know about you guys, but the last thing I want to do first thing in the morning is a 25-minute tutorial on how I slept and what all the data meant. Now I know how Luigi felt while dealing with Starlo in Dream Team. Seriously, the tutorial was so long that I recorded 8 minutes of it, stopped recording because it felt like the tutorial was done, then the app threw more tutorials at me. I'm not joking. I knew tutorials weren't going to last forever, so I gave the app another try the next night. Well, they decided to give me another tutorial the next morning, which was to educate me on a specific berry. The least the game could have done was explain this to me the day prior when they already wasted 25 minutes of my time. I know the tutorials won't be an everyday thing, but it kind of felt like the app didn't value my time at all. Like, why bombard me with all this information right before going to sleep? Then give me even more information right as I'm waking up. Twice! Maybe this is just a night owl problem, but I just don't appreciate being given so much information to remember when I haven't even stretched or eaten yet. And I can't even imagine how the tutorial went for people who set it up the night before going to school or work. An easy solution would have been to have a digital manual or something that the player can read whenever they have a moment, or just making the tutorials shorter. But like I said before, tutorials aren't an everyday occurrence, and they likely stop after a week or so. What is an everyday occurrence though is how setting up the sleep tracking actually works if you don't have a Pokemon Go++. Yes, that's the actual name for it. So what do you do if you don't want to waste your money on a Pokemon Go++ is leave your pillow unlocked and sitting on your mattress near your head. It's also recommended that you put it on charge while you do it so it obviously doesn't die. Oh, and you shouldn't sit it on a hard surface like the floor or bedside table either. It has to be the mattress. I have a small bed, so there was literally nowhere I could have sat my phone without it possibly falling on the floor or getting buried in my sheets. I also move around in my sleep, so my phone would not survive. Not to mention the possible fire risks for having a plugged-in phone on a bed unattended, especially when it's switched on the whole time. This also wouldn't be ideal if you share a bed with another person or a pet. So for the first night, I did try using my bedside table, even if the game didn't recommend it, and according to the app, I only slept for 4 hours from 3 AM to 10 AM. That could just be a bad night's sleep, but it could have also been because I didn't have it on my bed. The app does try to detect slight movements to determine if you're asleep or not. Since I'm not lying on my bedside table, it would explain the missing 3 hours of sleep because the bedside table wouldn't be moving about. So on the second night, I did move my pillows around a little bit and find a space to put my phone on the mattress. Plus something soft at the bottom of the bed so it doesn't crack on the tile floor. But I got roughly the same results. So I'm either a really still sleeper or the app just isn't great. Regardless of the results, I just feel like this phone placement is an issue for one of two reasons. Either the Pokemon Company didn't consider the risks for having it this way, which is just extremely careless, or they did this on purpose to sell the Pokemon Go++, which is also really stupid because they're putting consumers at risk for more money. Either way, this isn't great. Someone's either going to get hurt or someone's phone is getting broken. After those 2 nights, I just couldn't play it anymore. I know 2 nights isn't enough to properly review an app like this, but I just couldn't continue with it. It got way too annoying. If you enjoyed this video though, please feel free to subscribe to Gaming Reinvented. And what did you guys think of Pokemon Sleep if you tried it? Did you enjoy it? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Okay, until next time, bye.